Welcome everyone to today's live session about live-in relationships. I'm just going to wait for a couple of minutes for people to join and then we can start today's discussion. Yeah, I think we can start. Live-in relationships have been a long topic of debate in India, balancing between personal choice and societal norms. With Uttarakhand introducing specific regulations on live-in relationships under its Uniform Civil Code (UCC), the conversation has taken a new turn. Are these rules necessary step towards legal clarity, or do they infringe on personal freedoms? In this panel discussion, we'll explore the key provisions of Uttarakhand's UCC live-in relationship rules, the alignment with existing legal frameworks, and the impact on individual rights and societies. Are these regulations a model for other states to follow, or do they set a concerning precedent? A panel of legal experts will break it down, offering insights into what it means for the future of live-in relationships in India. So I'll quickly introduce our panelists to you. We have Advocate Ranesh Anand, a seasoned lawyer with 8+ years of experience specializing in service law, criminal law, cyber law, and POCSO matters. Practicing at the Jharkhand High Court since 2016, he's known for his dedication to justice and strategic legal expertise. Then we have Advocate Navneeta Krishnan T, founder of Naval Legal, specializing in finance, leasing, and securitization. With expertise in contract drafting, title due diligence, and litigation, he navigates complex cases across DRT, NCLT, arbitration, 138 NI Act, civil and criminal law with precision. We then have Advocate Sarvanand Sukumar, specializes in criminal and NDPS law, corporate and industrial litigation, practicing at the Madras High Court. Trained under Nithi Law Firm, he represents individual, corporations, and government bodies. So before we start today's panel discussion, I would request you all to kindly watch a small video about Rest the Case.
In a world where time is precious, getting swift access to legal help shouldn't be a privilege, but a right. Welcome to Rest the Case, India's most trusted online platform for legal solutions. We are transforming the legal tech landscape, bridging gaps, and bringing legal support to anyone, anywhere, at any time. The legal field in India can be overwhelming. Courts are crowded, the search for the right legal help is confusing, and legal fees can be unpredictable. Many litigants face trust issues, uncertain about finding a lawyer who truly understands their needs. Rest the Case solves this by providing verified lawyer profiles, making it easier than ever to find trusted legal support.
We all are aware of that lawyers are not allowed to advertise themselves, right? But again, they do need something else going on from their routine practice, just so that there are people who actually know about them, so that they can reach out to them without any hassle and easily.
That's where Rest the Case steps in. From consultations to document drafting and court representation, our digital platform brings legal expertise to your fingertips.
The legal ecosystem is a triangle: judiciary, litigant, and the lawyer. But we are touching the litigants, both B2C, retail, and B2B corporates, and the lawyers. So our tools will make life simpler for litigants, retail, by helping them reach the right lawyers. We are using GenAI, we are creating an improved matching system. And for B2B, which is for startups and mid-level corporates, we are helping them by doing tasks like document draft creation, also other aspects which relates to their internal process improvement.
Powered by cutting-edge technology, Our platform leverages AI to match users with the most suitable lawyers. Based on expertise and location, from its start, Rest the Case has grown rapidly. With a presence across India, our mission is to provide legal accessibility everywhere, from big cities to smaller towns.
Our vision is to make legal support accessible and affordable for everyone in India. Our journey began in the lockdown, where suddenly people did not know what to do or where to find the right legal support. We then realized that this is not just a pandemic issue. This is an issue that people face every day and everywhere. That's how Rest the Case was born. We bridged the gap between a lawyer and a client to give them a reliable place to find the right legal help.
Rest the case, because every case deserves the right support.
Okay, I think we can begin our discussion now. So basically, my first question here is, so Uttarakhand has taken a significant step by introducing these regulations on live-in relationships under the Uniform Civil Code. What are the key provisions of these new rules? I'm going to open this question to all our panelists, whoever wishes to kind of take this on. Advocate Ranish, Advocate Sarvanan, anyone is open to take this.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Sarvan from Chennai practicing. Audible, clear?
Yeah, you're audible.
I'm practicing in Madras High Court and then expertise in corporate and family laws and once again.
Uh, then, Advocate Ranish, would you like to add to this? Would you like to
Yes,
explain to us what are the key provisions?
yes. So, good evening to everyone. So, basically, uh, is Mr. Shravan speaking something? May I continue?
No, sir.
Yes, yes. Please go ahead.
So, yes. So, there is a uniform civil code that they have uh, prepared by the Uttarakhand government. So, there is part 5 of the UCC, and part 5 they have is talked about the living relationship. So sections are 378. It starts from 378, and where they say that living relationship is about how mandatory registration. They talk about the mandatory registration for the people who are already in living relationship, and for the people who are willing to come into this living relationship. So from there, all the provisions from 378 to 389, different provisions how registration has to be done, what are the procedures has to be laid down. So rules have also been finalized by the Uttarakhand government. So it's there, and I think it is a progressive step. It's a progressive step in a, I can say it is because the way the society has been changing, the social relations are changing. You can say that bond of marriage is changing. Now people are not willing to go into this committed long relationship. So if that is the situation, what is to be done? People have found a solution that they go into living relationship, but the how government will tackle it, that is the question. And this is a very progressive step. It has, in a sense, identified and acknowledged that society is accepting this. Now, the government is, by including this in the UCC, the government is accepting and acknowledging this relationship, this kind of relationship, where there is freedom of the parties. There are different questions which we will come later on in our discussion. I believe it is a right step by the government.
Right. Advocate Sarvanan, would you like to add to this? Do you think this is the right step? What are your views on it? I'm so sorry, sir. You are unaudible. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, we cannot hear you, sir. Advocate Navneeta, would you like to add? So my question was about the Uttarakhand government introducing regulations on live-in relationships under the UCC, and do you think these regulations are a step towards legal clarity, or do you think that this is unnecessary? What are your views on it? Sorry, cannot hear you as well, sir. Not audible for some reason. No. Hello. If you can try and increase your volume, maybe that'll. No. Advocate Sarvanan, can we hear? Hello. Hello. I guess till then I'll have to go ahead with you, Advocate Ranish, till the time we
Yes,
we go ahead with them. Um, I wanted to ask from your end. You said that this is a good step. Do you think
yes.
in any form is an unnecessary intrusion?
See, in my belief and in my understanding, what I see is,
Yeah, please go ahead.
so in my understanding, it is not an intrusion. It
Hmm.
is because see, when you have a social structure coming up in the
Hmm.
society, what is government? What is the use of government? Government is there to facilitate any social obligations, social relations. See, if we go into social contract theory, how state is formed, so I'm taking you back to the basics of how state is formed. So we have a theory where it says that society is there, but to govern the social structure, to govern the social infrastructure, you need the government. Now, if a live-in relationship is a new concept coming up in the society, people are accepting it, then government cannot curb it and should not curb it. Now, the only question remains is how to handle or how to balance this privacy part and the aspect of acknowledgement and helping the people who are into this relationship, these kinds of relationships. That is the balance that needs to be, uh, that has to be taken care of. Now, there is ample cases, there are ample perspectives where it can lead into intrusion, where it can be said that it is because many of the people who will be becoming registrars or the society in many parts have not accepted this. They'll create problems for that. Now, how the government will help them or how government will control this, all these things needs to be uh, left open. These are open-ended question in one can say because until unless this will be implemented and we'll see how the cases are coming up, what are the kind of situations we are having in future, then only because once this law has come in February, and it's just March. So we have to give it time to see how it affects and how it impacts the life of the people.
Okay. Advocate Navneeta, I think now you're audible to us.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, first of all, thank you for having me on this discussion. And nice to see such a panel. See, law has been evolving for centuries. Now
Yeah.
the time has come that the law live up to the expectation of the public at large. So I really welcome this kind of piece of legislation, which is very bold and encouraging, and I congratulate the government for this bold decision. And I would expect this to be spread across all across India. And there is nothing anywhere in the provision which goes against any religion, caste, or community. It is open to all. It is not depriving anyone to worship their own religion or to ceremonies they undergo. There is no prohibition as such. It is open to all. So this kind of codified law is necessary. Otherwise, it will be dividing the communities. It's actual secular in law. Except the provisions are not applicable to scheduled tribes, except it is uniform civil code in literal word. So I appreciate this legislation.
Advocate Sarvanan, if you're audible to us, maybe can you give us your thoughts on this?
Good
Yes.
evening, everyone. The voice was not audible clear, and then
Now,
going
now you're audible to us. Yes.
myself, Patrick Sarna Suma. I'm coming from this. I'm myself, Patrick Suma, Madras High Court, Chennai. I'm practicing family matters and then arbitration cases, and I represent government bodies and individual institutions. The discussion of the Uttarakhand, the particularly relevant it has a rise of cross state. It took forward to sharing. It's like there is a social individual right perspective, and then it has demolished freedom of women, and then it comes more way, and it should be a
Sorry, we've lost you again, I think. Hello. Yeah, I think we've lost Advocate Sarvanan. So, Advocate Navneeta, then I would like to ask you, how does this current
the
law
mandatory.
align with the already legal provisions that we have for live-in relationships?
See, there is no legislative provisions for live-in relationship except in DV, domestic violence, in relation in the nature of marriage. That is what they mentioned. It is mentioned in the DV Act. See, what the state has considered is what step taken by the Uttarakhand government is that of a parental concern. It is just, we can say that it's a parental concern of a state towards its citizens, especially that of daughters, female, women, because it is protecting both of them. Registering a live-in relationship would protect the interest of both of the parties, even for the matter of women as well as for men. Because men can take this, if it is registered, he can say that woman has been living with him in a live-in relationship. So allegation thereafter, that we can find most of the cases, allegation of rape, that can be defended effectively. Even for women whose live-in relationship is registered, she is also entitled for maintenance. If we discard, if refuse to live with the other spouse, then she has remedy. She won't be left alone. It is to protect the destitution. She won't be homeless. So to protect the interest of the woman, that is a more concern of the government. So I view it from the perspective of a parental concern that is required. State has to take care of the citizen, especially of the weaker section. Now it is not a weaker section anymore, women. So I consider it. And as far as live-in relation is concerned under DB, Supreme Court has held that long-standing relationship should be there, cohabiting under the same roof. It has to be some period of time. It should be some period of time. One night stand or visiting the other spouse for at the weekend cannot be considered as live-in relationship. So what is every live-in relationship cannot be considered as fit one to be registered. So it is not so. It is not depriving anybody's privacy. If a man wants to live with a woman for a day or two, he can do that. Nobody. The government is not interested in peeping into the bedroom. It is not the concern of the state as well. So live-in relationship, every sort of live-in relationship cannot be or entitled for registration. Only those relationships in the nature of marriage are entitled to be registered. That is very clear. Government is not against any religion. Government is not against anybody's privacy. Government is not peeping into anybody's privacy. So government is very particular that it need to record that live-in relationship, which is in the nature of marriage. So whatever, it cannot be equated with marriage. Marriage has so much more social obligations. Live-in relationship does not have that social obligation as such. So it cannot be set on the same footing, but a long-standing live-in relationship, there's a presumption of marriage. That is what held by Supreme Court way back in 2010. So why it is necessitated? Because we can see there are so many offenses, so many atrocities committed in couples in live-in relationship, especially against women. So in order to curtail that, there must be a social commitment, a family commitment, a personal commitment by the men. So to impose that, the responsibility part, one can be licentious in the way of thinking, in the way of life that you want to lead, but government has to restrain it because it's the life of a girl, life of a woman. So that has to be taken to consideration, and it has to be viewed very seriously. If a long-standing relation, that is only a point of I beg to differ certain thing with respect to even the punishment part. What is a punishment? Punishment is if within 1 month, if it is not registered, then 10,000 fine or 3 months imprisonment or with both. With respect to that, I have my reservation. I have my some little bit of conflict because as far as marriage is concerned, there is no punishment for not registering the marriage. Only when registrar issues notice and they don't go to registrar office for registering the marriage, then 25,000 is the fine imposed under this UCC. Why there is no punishment? Why there is no imprisonment? Only when government is so much serious about live-in relationship, they should have been very serious about the registration of the marriage as well. So when you can impose 3 months imprisonment for non-registration of the live-in relationship, why not for non-registration of the marriage? So these are the some because law is evolving, government is also testing and all, but it has been now came into force. But I would recommend that the punishment part, as of now, should not be imposed. If you are serious about registering it for the welfare of both the parties, they are mature enough.
Yeah.
The girl and a boy are mature enough, they are above 21 and 18, they can understand the consequence of non-registration and it will protect their own interest, then they should be the first person to come forward and register it. Rather than government seeing it, viewing it, and imposing them the penalty, imposing them the punishment, imprisonment, etc. To that part, I am not agreeable. Rest of things, even I thought first it will violate the Article 21 of Indian Constitution, right to privacy, etc., etc. I am having independence. This is a democratic country. Who can impose the way I want to live, the way I want to think? No one can impose until unless I infringe someone's rights. As long as I am comfortable, I am not intruding or infringing others' right. I am very well within my limits to enjoy my life the way I want it. So government cannot impose it. So the
Right.
government cannot fetters me. The government cannot restrain me. So when I examined the provisions in detail, government is not restraining anyone. Government is not restraining the festivities or any worship activities of any of the religion. If a Hindu, Muslim, Sikhs, everyone they want to marry in the certain customary way, they can do that. There's no provision under the UCC that you should not marry in such a way or Saptapadi or all the ceremonial rites. You can perform in your religion, whatever is followed in the religion. You can, in a community, you can follow that. There is no restrainment. So, at any point of view, from any angle of the provisions, it cannot be said that it is against any religion, any
Okay.
caste or any creed.
All right. So then I would like to know from the other panelists, what are your views on, this law? Some people say that it infringes Article 21, right to, privacy. What are your views on it? Advocate Sarunan, if you would like to go ahead. I think he's still having some network issues. Advocate Ranesh, would you like to take up this question?
Yes, so about the privacy aspect, right to privacy. See, this question of right to privacy, as I have previously told, it is going to have a concern that it is infringing the privacy of the parties. But I must say this that as I have stated earlier, that if there is a new change in this society, in the social structure, until unless the government admits it, see, when the government has codified the law and it has introduced live-in relationship, what they have done is they have admitted that the society has uh, taken a step. I wouldn't say a progressive step or regressive step, nothing. Society has taken a step where they are admitting that yes, there can be a live-in relationship without marriage. So who are we to say no to that? We will admit it and we will acknowledge it. But when there are two people living together for a longer period of time, as the other panelist sir was saying, so if two people are living together for a longer period of time, and their rights needs to be protected, for that there is a registration process. Yes, there is a issue about the punishment part, which I'm also not agreeing to it, because if somebody has not registered a marriage, say if somebody has not registered a marriage, there is no criminal punishment for that. In Hindu Marriage Act, I'm talking about Hindu Marriage Act, there is no criminal punishment for it. There might be a problem in future. Supposedly, say there might be a problem in shares and property rights in later period of time, but there is no criminal offense as it is as per the Hindu Marriage Act. So I also believe that there should not be a criminalization of the civil relations. It should be tackled in a civil way only, not in a criminal way. About the privacy, that is what I understand from right now, from what the law is. It needs to be implemented, then only we can come up with yes, it has infringed the privacy rights or not. We'll see about that in future.
Maybe Advocate Saruna, you can switch off your camera and see if your network is better, and then try and answer some questions. Hello.
Hello,
Yeah.
am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Am I
Um,
audible?
yes, sir, you're audible.
As
Yeah. So,
should other states in living relationship get adopt in Tamil Nadu? We have a cultural based pollution here. We are it's got some professional policy mechanisms and such as shaping the law ensure they have a just and effective. That's what they are playing. But in every state it's not complied. But every state it doesn't suit for them.
so, do you think it should be applied
That's
to
what.
all states, or it shouldn't be applied to all states?
Sorry, ma'am. Come again. I'm
Do you think we should apply it to all states, sir, or should it not be applied to all states?
not should it's not should be applied in all the states.
Okay. Okay. You think that it won't be a successful venture in other
Yeah.
states?
Yes.
Is there any specific reason for that, sir?
It has why.
Um, Maybe Advocate Navneeta.
There
Yeah,
is
please
no.
go ahead. Maybe Advocate Navneeta, you could take up that question. Do you think that we should apply this in other states as well? Other states should also, adopt this.
Yes, madam, had there been no Hindu Marriage Act, the
Hmm.
Hindus would have been marrying a number of times, not only one. They won't stick to one wife. That was the law earlier. People could have married one or twice, even much more than that. But because of the law, Hindus throughout the country are abiding by the law. So law need not wait for till the maturity stage for the mental state of the entire citizen to such a stage that they accept it wholeheartedly. No, need not be. Law and the government are stronger now, has to be stronger. They can impose it because that is for the welfare of the society. That is one part of it. Now, what is the bad thing about this? Because this unites everybody in a uniform way. They control the life of the civil laws are concerned. Now, criminal laws are applicable throughout the country. Nobody has any problem. Earlier, if you go in the scriptures, written so many way of punishment, Hindus or so many other religion, they have their own way of punishment. Had there been no uniform criminal code, then it would be applied in different. See the burden of the judicial system. Justice delivery system would not be possible the way it is possible today. Had there been no unified criminal code. So nobody has no objection. Their community clash won't happen. They say, well, they are welcome. This kind of laws are welcome. They have no issues. But only when uniform civil code is applied, they have issues. This particular state won't accept it, that particular state won't accept it, or this community won't accept it, that community won't accept it. Why it is so? Because if they are going by religion or caste or community or their tradition, they should have said, no, we have criminal system in our own way. No, they are not saying so. They are saying they are welcoming it. So the law must be imposed. This uniform civil code has to be imposed by the union government. Because I see beautiful provisions. There's no discrimination at all. First of all, even not among the religions, but between the men and women. For example, inheritance of male child or female child. Now it is equal. Even I am happier, being a Hindu, I am happier that this kind of uniform civil code should be applied, because I am not happy with the way inheritance go as per the Hindu Succession Act. But as per the Uttarakhand Uniform Civil Code, I'm very much happier. Being a Hindu, I say that this must be applied. I'm welcoming it. I welcome it in all the way possible. I have gone through most of the inheritance, marriage, divorce, will, etc. I'm happy about it. Except this live-in relationship, only the part which I am not happy about it is the punishment part. Otherwise, because here also I see positively. The government as a parental concern, as it's shown, I really welcome it. But the manner in which it is to be implemented, there is a question. Now, the question with respect to the definition of live-in relationship has not been defined anywhere in the code, neither under the Uttarakhand UCC. What is live-in relationship? I mean, relationship in the nature of marriage, that has been defined. Under the definition, it has been defined as relation between a man and a woman cohabitating under the same roof, under the same in the same household, having a relationship in the nature of marriage. But what is that in the nature of marriage has not been defined. Neither under the UCC, Uttarakhand UCC, nor under the Domestic Violence Act. It only mentioned the relation in the nature of marriage. Now, for example, A and B, a girl and boy living in a household, they are having physical relationship, but there is no commitment towards each other. There is no household sharing. There is no financial sharing. Nothing, emotional sharing, nothing, only for physical relationship. Can it be considered as relation in the nature of marriage? No, never. It cannot be. So such kind of live-in relationship cannot be registered, need not be registered at all. Government is not interested to see that. Whether you are having physical relation, then also you should get it registered. No, that is not mentioned in the UCC. So anybody who is talking about the privacy under Article 21, I'm saying the government is not against it. Government is not saying that you must be in live-in relationship. Government is not bothered. As a person, as a parent, suppose if I have children, and if I were a parent, then I would see that my children should not go for this live-in relationship. Better they get married. That is a parental concern. That is a concern of the the state government. I appreciate that. State government does not want everybody to be in legal relationship. But what can be done? Society is growing, society developing, so-called development, they are getting into this kind of relationship. Government can restrain it because of the constitution. They have to approve it. But at the same time, they have to protect the interest of the citizen, especially of the daughters, especially of the female, especially of the girls. So what government can do at the most? They say that get it registered so that you get your maintenance. In another way, men will be protected. Later, she should not come to court or go to the police station and say that this person has been raping me for so many months. So a girl who willingly getting into a legal relationship cannot later come out and say that this person has raped. The police will not take up the matter because you have been in living relationship. Here's a registration certificate. So how can this allegation will stand? So this will protect the boy as well. So now a boy they're saying that this is infringement of my personal liberty. I say no, it is not so. It will protect you. See, you can see a number of cases on newspaper and etc. on social media. What kind of allegations are leveled? Even fake cases are leveled against a person. Even for one night stand, if a girl get into a one night stand, later next day she goes to police station and say that this person has harassed. We have seen this kind of cases, but this will protect. So this is a better way for both of them to have a relationship in a very qualified manner. Societal pressure, no bullying, nothing is good for them. But at the same time, no one can say it's an infringement. Now another part of the story is, can this be implemented? There's a problem. Live-in relation A and B, male and female, getting into a live-in relationship. Now, boy wants to get it registered. Girl does not allow. Girl say, no, it's a problem, prestigious problem, social status, etc. My family come to know, then I'll be gone. So in such a scenario, even a boy wants to get it registered. If the female does not agree, then what is the provision? Where is the provision? But there is a provision for termination of live-in relationship. Any one of the party can go and register it. But as far as this particular case is concerned, where the other party is denying the relationship and registering the relationship, then what is the option left to the other person? Other person cannot go and unilaterally register it.
Yeah.
And as I said, whether government can look into the flat and see that whether they are actually intending to have a live-in relationship in the nature of marriage. No, government cannot do so. So burden of proof lies with whom?
Yeah, I think
So many things I told. So let me share by all of them.
But the government cannot deduct the personal life choice.
Yes.
It should be the personal choice.
Exactly.
It need to be a register, otherwise or not. There should be a personal. What is the rule? Both of them are a legal age. Once they attain them, the government can't able to deduct a person's life.
Mr. Sarvan, there's a difference. There's a difference in the live-in relationship in the nature of marriage, where government is interested in. Government is not interested in rest of the live-in relationships. There the personal choice we allow.
Yes,
Government allows personal choice. Yes. It is your personal choice.
Then why they are charging a fine for within 30 days?
Yes, because
once they have not registered within 10 months, with the 30 days, they have charged it like a 3 months of jail and then 10,000 fine.
Then
for saying after the register gave a letter and then give a 30 days of time, they have not complied. They have not registered with that. What happened? They have charged like 6 months of jail and 25,000 rupees of fine.
No. In the case of marriage, there is no imprisonment. In the case of marriage, only 25,000. That too, when notice is issued by the registrar. Okay. Suppose if the woman or men married couples, they don't register it, then there is no crime. There is no fine. The fine and the punishment comes only.
Why not? They have to compel to fine. They are compelled to register. The UCC takes the Uttarakhand government compelled to register.
That is with respect to live-in relationship. In the nature of marriage. In the nature of marriage, there are two situations. First of all, let us try to understand this. Marriage, if not registered, not a crime per se. But once registrar finds out a complaint is filed against that, they said marriage, there's a divorce, etc., nullity of marriage, not getting registered, then registrar will issue a notice. After issuing the receipt of the notice, within 1 month, if they have not tendered the memorandum of marriage or divorce nullity, then there is a punishment of 25,000. That is in case of marriage. Okay. Now, why government is interested live-in relationship in the nature of marriage? Because government want to equate this with that of marriage. Even Supreme Court has held long-standing relationship in the live-in relationship in the nature of marriage is presumed to be that of a marriage. So obligation of the husband towards the other person. In America, it is known as palimony. Maintenance any money, that's palimony. That palimony is given to the spouse who is not married, unmarried partner, where the maintenance given known as palimony. Because that is the culture there. Here we are accepting it nowadays. So government is interested in those marriages, those relationship in the nature of marriage. Why? Same question Mr. Saravanan asked can be asked against the marriage also. Why registration of marriage? It's the freedom of the couple whether they want to register it or not. But there are so many things
He is
because
a citizen of this country. He has to live however he wants.
understood.
That's my point of view.
Understood.
That's my point of view.
Understood. Why marriage is more important? Because some data has to be collected, especially government data, married men, unmarried men, resources, and whether unmarried people, unmarried girls, their protection to be guaranteed by the government. So data are required. Why we are viewing the government, even state government or central government, always in a hostile attitude? The public should not think in that way. State government and union government, they are working for us, citizens. And we should not have an attitude against the politicians. I respect all politicians, whether in opposition or in powers, because they are working for us. We should change our mentality, always criticism. We can criticize all these things. Being a lawyer, we have to criticize. Even citizen, we have right to criticize. But don't have an hostile attitude towards politicians or the government, union or state. Some data we need to give to the court, give to the government. Not a problem. Why it is very particular about marriage? Because children are born out of this wedlock. Then what would be the welfare of the children? What is the status of the children? Everything to be taken into account. So the marriage is a social obligation. Society is concerned. See, family is the basic unit, fabric by which society has to build. You know how the growth, enhancement, prosperity, everything, the very unity, very fundamental fabric that society, fabric of society is the family that need to be protected. So registration is compulsory, and for getting married, no need of court permission required. But getting divorce, court permission is required. So why court is interfering? We can say that it's an individual freedom. We can get married even without the consent of the court. Why in separation we need the permission of the court? Court needs to know how the separation happened. What are the protection given to the other person, weaker section? Hindu Marriage Act gives even protection or alimony even to the husband as well, if he is not in a position to earn himself. So these are the welfare legislation. These are for the good of both of the parties. We cannot say that always in the name of personal liberty, freedom, etc. We can't say that these legislation are against them. It is not against us. It is to protect each and everybody who are parties to the marriage. Now the question comes, why government is interested in live-in relationship in the nature of marriage? Because it is equal to that, the status is equal to that of a marriage. They are in relationship for n number of periods, and they protect themselves to the couples in the openly in the society. So what is a girl is exposed to society saying that she is a partner of the other person. Now see, if he abandons her, what would be the consequence? How she can be protected? So government is interested in protecting the girl. It is not to curtail their freedom. It is to take care of them. We should understand this. This government is protecting the citizen. Who else is protecting the citizen? Government is protecting us. Who else is protecting us? So rest of things, if you want to have a licentious life, who is preventing? Government is not forcing you to marry. Government is not forcing you to be in live-in relationship. All freedoms are given to you. So this kind of freedom that we are enjoying in India, this we cannot find in anywhere else. Here government is supporting you, but only thing is that register it. Whatever way you want to live, you live it. But register it, not a problem. Now again, it is not against all kind of live-in relationship. Government is not asking you to register all kind of live-in relationship. It is only asking you the relationship in the nature of marriage. Only that need to be registered. Otherwise, registrar can refuse registering it. Okay, I have taken much of time, like the other panelists also.
Advocate Ranish, would you like to add something to this discussion?
See, I have a few points. I would like to start it from a different way. See, let's take us back to the time when marriage institution was established. How it might have been established. See, it is my understanding when civilizations grew and people started having cohabiting and having physical relations, sexual relations, child being born. So at that point of time, some great minds of that society must have decided that let's have something called as marriage. Let's make it an institution which establishes the relationship between two men and women. Uh, and then that became a law of the society. Then then government came, and then government decided from a very long period. I'm talking about when it all might have started. It's from a very long period of time. Now coming to today's generation, again there might be some problems with marriage. Nobody want, there might be people who doesn't need that kind of commitment of a marriage. They don't want that kind of social obligation that comes with the marriage. So they decide that we are partners, let's live together. And the day we decide that we don't want to live together, we will go out, we'll have our own way. That can be done. But for the period when you are staying together, or for the aspects which needs, as Mr. Navneet Krishnan sir was saying, that it needs protection, it needs to check that there is no domestic violence. If there is a violence, what will be done? If so, the government thought that let's have a registration. We'll see that it is a registered as a live-in couple. They were living together like a married couple. There can have a problem. Then we can decide the further laws for that. See, for me, I have reservations regarding the maintenance of the women. I am I am agreeable to the maintenance of a child if there is a child born out of a live-in relationship, and because the maintenance provision is same as it is there in the law or the BNSS now, the CRPC 125 earlier. Only the man has the obligation to maintain the wife and the child and the parents. In a similar fashion, this UCC also takes that the women can go to the competent court and ask for a maintenance after the man leaves her or deserts her, or they decide to terminate their live-in relationship. In my understanding, if there is no child involved, if there is no child of this couple, this should not be forced to maintain, because they were not into marriage because they didn't wanted these things to come up. Maintenance. Nowadays we are finding cases where we have say uh, alimony cases are going on. Recent these media debates were there about this Abdul case and Nikita case. And there are many more cases going on in the recent times about alimony, about maintenance. The yeah, I was I, there was a video of a, I think so, Karnataka High Court. I'm not sure about that. The judge was asking the petitioner, the wife's lawyer, what do you need 16 lakh rupees for? So there was a case. So people just wanted this kind of problem. That's why they might decide that they don't uh, want a marriage registration. They want to live together without the commitment of marriage. So I have a issue with that. That if there is no child involved, there should not be a maintenance provision. If you need a it should be made maintenance from both parties. That or there should not be a maintenance, because you came on your own volition that we want to come into this relationship, and you, on your own terms, you go out of this relationship. So there was no point of maintaining each other after terminating the relationship. So this is my understanding, and also I have an advice about this. Uh, I think so. After UCC, at least in Uttarakhand, when now it has been implemented, there should be an amendment in MTP Act, the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act. So suppose if two individuals come together, register their live-in relationship, and the girl gets pregnant and they terminate the relationship, say on that ground only that no, I don't want pregnancy. The woman says that no, I want the child. The man says I don't want the child. Now there should be a provision, or man says that I want it. Woman says I don't want it. There might be a number of situation. So there should be an amendment in the medical termination of pregnancy, where there should be given a liberty that if there is there is a child involved, if women gets pregnant in that live-in relationship, and if they decide to not take it further, they don't want to take give birth to the child, they should be allowed to do so. It is my understanding. I might be wrong in that case. So yes, that is what I understand from
Right.
it. Yes,
Yeah.
one more thing. Uh, you asked the question whether it should be applied to other states also or not. See, I'll just give you a short example of Jharkhand. I belong to Jharkhand. So there is a tribal community in Jharkhand where you'll find that this kind of live-in relationship, it is already available. That culture is where the the girl and the boy is asked to live together for a month. If they find it okay, we are ready, we compatible with each other, we will get married. So some sort of that was already there. Now, but every society is different. In India, in different communities are different. I would say that let's wait for some time. Let's wait for a year. We see how this evolves, and then we can think about implementing all across the country.
Right. We're a little short of time, so if Advocate Saranan can give us his thoughts, and we'll close out today's discussion then on that note.
As of my opinion, there is already a protection exists without mandatory regulation. There is a domestic violence. The Supreme Court also recognized the rival relationship that grant the partner to the similar married couple in the case of abuse. If the woman faces a violence in a live-in relationship, she has a legal remedies as well as a registration as a compulsion of a police and other protection also violating with her. Will the registration actually stop the domestic violence? If the registration actually stop the domestic violence against the woman, asking it. Just because the registration as registered doesn't mean the abuse happened. That's
Right.
what
So,
my
so you're saying that even if there are already
even as
other
a
countries
legally recognized marriage, the domestic violence also there's a serious issue as a domestic violence. Even in the registered marriage or otherwise a court marriage, registered office marriage, there is also registered domestic violence was there. There is a lot of protection over there for a woman. The Supreme Court also stated in the relationship, kid has to be grant all the whatever it be. It should be us. So this is what my opinion in this one.
right.
Can I answer that? Can I answer that one?
Yes, sir.
Suppose if after the violence, if case is to be registered, where's the proof? Registration will support you. It will substantiate you. Otherwise, there is no proof.
The,
That is
now
why I said that
the past
registration.
3 years, just before the 2024, there is no case has been filed
No
in
case,
the
madam,
registration
but
case.
see number of convictions. Here it's a case to defend as well as to attack. If registration there is good for the men, good for the women as well.
Yes.
And the second, I will finish it. Mr. Anand said that issue to be addressed to the judiciary. Regarding the maintenance, we all are agitated with respect to the maintenance given by the courts. So this is an issue not with the legislation, a legislature issue. It is an issue with the judiciary. So that particular point to be addressed to the judiciary, not to the legislative assembly or parliament. Parliament has not stated this much of amount to be given in as alimony. That is a part of the court. Court has gone. I have a serious issues with the court verdicts.
We are not in the
Even this-
debit of.
Sir. May I say something?
UCC. So in the UCC, there is a
In
maintenance.
UCC
There is a
also.
provision for maintenance. That is why he was asking.
Already we have, sir. How should we need a new one?
But the issue is that now he's talking
No,
about
sir. What I was saying,
the quantum
what I
of
was
maintenance.
saying about is that maintenance, the provision is only making obligation on the man.
Absolutely.
The man is has been given the obligation that you have to maintain. If the woman can go after termination of the live-in relationship, can go to the competent court and ask for maintenance. Why the only women is given that right? Until unless there is a child involved, there is a child in out of that relationship. That was my query, and that was my concern.
If my conclusion, but if the government force a couple to register for their own protection, they will break up as soon as after that. If unmarried couple are monitored, how they can live their private life?
Right. I think on this note, we should conclude today's discussion. I think we need to have another panel discussion to further discuss this topic because we've gone into so many different topics today. Same panelists, we should have another panel discussion because we seem to have a lot of things to say. But since we're short on time today, unfortunately, we have to stop here. And as we wrap up this discussion, it's clear that Uttarakhand's new regulations have sparked a crucial legal and societal debate. While some see it as a move towards legal recognition, others worry about potential overreach and restrictions on personal freedom. Should other states follow suit, or does this call for a more balanced approach that safeguards both rights and responsibilities? The conversation doesn't end here today. So, thank you so much to our panelists for attending today.
Thank you very much for
the
having,
opportunity, rest of the
having
case, and
having
then
us.
both my colleague partners and my senior also are there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for such a.
Nice meeting.
Thank you very much.
It was a very,
Everybody.
very interesting discussion. Thank you so much, everyone. And